Hey, and welcome to another video. No, this is not a normal intro, I get it, but I wanted to jump in really quickly and give you guys a little bit of clarity. So with this particular video, I took a detour. I was painting the limbs in the last video, and of course I continued to paint the limbs. However, I realized I wanted to make some short form content, and so what I ended up doing was continuing to go forth with the head and stopping on the limbs. But I made note of everything I was doing with the head and with the belly plate, so that of course the limbs would match. So if anything seems out of sequence, it shouldn't be, because I've done my best to make sure that everything is in sequential order, not necessarily according to my actual timeline, but I put in the clips in sequential order so you guys would know exactly what order I painted in, or what order the colors should go in rather. Thank you so much for being here, and enjoy the video. Max, you want to say hi? Say hi, say hello, say I'm Max. He's a little camera shy, but thank you guys. Enjoy. Can I just say the rain is making it so hard to record today? Like, this is a day to be cozy and on the couch. But anyway, I'm showing up and I'm here just for you guys. We ended the last video with a very thin red wash to bring in warmth. So the green that we're using here is actually going to give us a more neutral tone to kind of mute things a little bit more. And at this stage, things may look a little patchy or even a little too neutral, but I promise you, it's all going to work out beautifully in the end. We just have to trust the process. So now we're going to bring in a burnt orange color, and this will help to deepen the skin and shift it toward that rich brown tone that we're aiming for. And again, this is another wash consistency. And if you haven't, be sure that you are caught up on all the videos, so that way you won't feel too out of the loop or out of sorts as far as what steps we're taking. And as far as technique, we are still going all over the limbs. We're not going to get to the shading just yet, but as soon as we get there, I'll be sure to bring it to your attention. But for now, we are just working on the skin complexion. And to make sure we really get the brown that we're aiming for, I'm going to do about 4 of these washes. So now that we're all done with our burnt sienna washes, we're now going to bring in some red to really give the skin a glow and to bring some more life back to it. And guys, inside, I'm so excited to get this video out to you, but I am really struggling today. I've never mentioned this, but I'm challenged with narcolepsy, and it takes a lot on me to to be productive or to have mental clarity whenever I am so tired. So please bear with me. I am doing all that I can. If in doubt about anything that I am saying today, please ask in the comments, and I'll be sure to clarify anything that you may be uncertain on, just in case I'm not able to bring it to mind because of I'm fighting fatigue. I have the sincerest of intentions with everything that I'm doing, but again, if I fall short in my explanations today, just know why. All right, so let's bring in some yellow to kind of help balance out the coolness and bring in some more vibrancy to the skin tone. Here I'm coming in with the purple stipple to just create another layer of depth in addition to the modeling that we have done on the other layers. And this color is just the pigment and a thinning medium. And what I'm wanting to do here is just create a shadowy effect. As you can tell that the pigment is not really visible, but it's creating enough of a hint of color in the shadow effect just to give me some variations in the skin tone. And this variation will help bring us closer to a shade of brown. We can start to deepen it with the flesh colors. We'll create it in the next clip, and then we'll go forward from that point on. So I really like to create my flesh colors. I used to just use flesh colors like Flesh 02, Flesh 04, but now that I really understand color theory a little bit more and I can make my own shades, I do this because I can get the exact color that I'm aiming for. So as you notice, you'll see the colors that I'm using on screen. And I like to create one shade lighter and then another shade darker of that color so that it really helps to balance out and it creates the different dimensions that I need on the skin. So it will create 3 shades basically. You'll see the undertone, then you'll see a darker shade, and then you'll see the darkest shade. So I hope that kind of explains things a little bit more. But if not, like I said, ask away. But just to expand on that a little bit more, the undertone is already complete. So that's the first of the 3. So now we're going to layer the lighter of the 2 shades a few times. And after that is complete, then we'll do the darkest of the 2 shades that we just created to create that gradient effect like I showed you on the screen. I don't have an exact number of times to do the layering, but the goal is for each layer to be shown through the next layer. So you'll do it until it's just opaque enough. And with more practice, you'll understand exactly what I mean. And as always, make sure the transitions are very subtle. You want to be able to see the difference in color, but you don't want it to be a huge difference in color from each shade. And the only way to do that is to make sure you're blending well with your cosmetic wedge when it comes down to pouncing the colors off. Just be sure to always keep the end goal in mind. You just want to focus on a deep, smooth, dark brown tone. As a way to not say what these parts are here on YouTube, just please pay attention to where I'm placing the colors. So this is just shading, and you always want to have that gradient effect, especially around areas where you want something to stand out. So you're going to have the undertone, like we mentioned earlier, the darker shade, and then the darkest shade.
FYI, I did not use the eyelid purple that you see in the jar. I just kind of used that as a stand for the belly flake, to just stand it up against that. But as you can tell, I am going into the palette behind it. So before baking one of the layers, I decided to use the glazing medium from Exodus to see how it would be on the lips. And I think I've already tried this before, and I'm not a fan. I couldn't remember. Um, the glazing medium I do like, so let me rephrase that. I'm not a fan of it onto the lips. I have a particular finish I like on the lips, and the glazing medium, while it works really good on the appearance of skin and transparency, it's just not what I want for the lips. So I did do it here on the lips, and then I put it on the eyelids to give me a moist appearance. And in all honesty, I went back in with my tried and true Genesis, the old formula of the glazing medium. However, I am on the quest of trying to find a new glazing medium for the lips or a new finish. So again, if you guys know of anything, please let me know. So now that the layers are completely done, it's time for the details. Psych. I sent these to mom and she approved, but after a day or so, we were like, let's go darker. So that's what we did. If you choose to do a virtual session with me, you'll actually get an update about that in this video in just a little bit. But you'll get more information as to how I choose the paints and the amounts that I choose. But just to give you more information, the colors that you just saw were the colors that I used to create my darkest shade that we're going with for this baby.
Okay, so at this point, we have fully achieved the color for the face and for the belly plate. We are catching up with the limbs because I wanted to do some short form content, so I put the limbs to the side so that I can continue working on getting the head and belly plate done. Nevertheless, so the last step that you saw, the previous clip that you saw, was my darkest flesh color that I created, right? With those colors that were on the screen. Now we are bringing in a gray 04. And this particular color has, of course, black, white, and blue in it. Blue is a color that really helps to bring in depth, or adds depth rather, to any color. So I don't necessarily want to use any more flesh colors because I've really achieved the color or the skin tone that I'm going for. And if I were to bring in more flesh colors, that would make the layers more opaque, so you wouldn't be able to see through it as well as you can, like the belly plate. It doesn't look thick. It doesn't look like it's heavily pigmented with just layers and layers of paints. And the only way to achieve that is through the steps that we've taken, and to finish it off with a color that will just help to enhance, create a shadow effect. Again, we do not want to add more thickness by using flesh colors. We want to achieve our skin tone, and once we do, we just want to enhance it with a color that just brings more richness and vibrancy to it. And that's exactly what this gray 04 does here. I hate that you can't see the color on screen, but the only thing I'm doing now is going in with a orange wash, because again, I am just enhancing the brown to make it richer, to make it deeper. And this is the final color that I will lay down before varnishing. for my babies to have a cocoa butter sheen to them. I don't like for them to look extremely matte, only because the skin just looks dry to me. And I don't know if you guys follow Samaj on YouTube, excuse me, or TikTok, but his mom, I used his voice for a short I did previously, but his mom greased his face really, really well, which is what we do in our community. And that just pretty much solidified, or explained rather, what I do with my babies. I like for them to look very shiny, but not too shiny to where they look like plastic babies. But I just like for them to have a cocoa butter sheen, like they have just been well moisturized. So the glazing medium has been laid down for that, and then I'm going to combine glazing medium and skin texture so that I can get the real skin effect now. So I still want it to appear see-through, but I want to have skin texture. So that's what we're doing with this. And you also noticed that on the thumbnail with the face, that's all I did with the face, is I provided skin texture and did some red stipple really around the cheek area, just to give it more of an effect. As for the classes, I'm going to host them via Zoom. I thought to just do just really literally one person, but I figured it would probably be better for me if I could have maybe at minimum 3 people, at max 5 on one call. And I'm going to offer 2 options. One option will be my old way of painting, which is still a good way of painting. And then another option will be this new style of painting, which has a lot more steps and it requires a lot more understanding of color theory. So you'll be able to make a decision. The one that requires more color theory will more than likely cost more because it takes a lot more steps and a lot more time. The other, or the more basic way of painting African American babies, will be the lesser of the two. I'm still deciding if I'm going to do a week long or just a weekend. I'm not sure who's at home, who's working during the week, so I may just do weekend sessions. But I'm looking at May and then June. So you'll get information here, and then I'll update it on my website so that you guys can be informed exactly how to purchase, when the classes will be, and once it's purchased, then you'll get access to my Zoom link. And now what I'm doing is adding the glazing medium. I'm showing you the finished belly plate with the glazing medium layer, and then the glazing medium plus skin texture, all baked and cured. This is a leg where I just have the glazing medium on it, and then you can see the difference where I don't have anything. So just to show you how they look with everything, one layer and then nothing. And so I'm going to go in with the glazing medium on the arm. So in my root and chat video, I was rooting an ethnic grade of hair, but now I am rooting alpaca, and it is different. So I'm using Heavenly Illusion needles in the pink color, and I am micro rooting. So that means I'm getting 1 to 2 or 3 even hairs per hole. I try not to get more than 2, to be honest, but Mom wants this hair to be thicker. So we are rooting very closely together, but I just wanted to give you guys a sneak peek of how I root. And I did a short on this as well, but this will probably take me about 2 weeks to get completely done.
Future age. The future age. The future age. Hope for a better tomorrow. Believe in the power of dreams. With hope in our hearts. We can overcome anything. Future.
Thank you for being with me through this video, and I hope that you have some great takeaways. I'll be sure to get everything to you guys very, very soon about the live or virtual sessions. And have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.